I think I just did it again. It's not moving. Hey, no breathing.
We're both gonna lunge to catch that thing as it's falling and clunk heads.
That'd be hilarious. Just knock each other out. That falls and shatters.
Shit our pants.
Julie, time to coach, idiots. We're knocked out.
Oh, they both shit their pants.
Is this one of your 7 shits? Is it ever?
Oh God.
So yeah, we're just talking about that.
Yeah.
So you want to go off on how many times people take normal deuce in a day? This is.
I think it's healthy to do at least twice.
Yeah.
You have to.
It's normal bowel movements.
If you shit less than twice in a day, there's something wrong.
Yeah. There's a lot of food going in that's not going out.
Yeah. If you're looking at that's the way to look at it, right? Like if you are taking in more than is coming out on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You gotta, yeah.
So I'm just getting the clock on so we know what we're doing.
You gotta
know what we're up
you're
against.
backed up, brother.
Well, real talk, yeah. But it's funny, I'll have days where I've gone like camping when I was a kid. I remember when taking shit for like 3 days.
Yeah, it's not good
It's
though.
like, oof, what's going on there? 3 days.
Yeah.
But it's the woods.
I know
girls.
girls that don't shit. Well, they say they don't.
They don't
for like
shit.
No, for like 3 days, like 2 or 3 days. Like they'll shit once every 3 days. That's.
Yeah, but we were talking about couples that.
Yeah, so this is this is peculiar. I've had this conversation with a lot of people.
I've dated chicks where I haven't heard them fart in 6 months. And
Yeah.
there's this is an aspect, and there's a bit of a double standard on this. I get it, but like, females are.
I don't think it's a double standard though.
No, but it is. It's a double standard. Like I would. So you're saying like you wouldn't fart in front of your wife?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't, and that surprises a lot of people.
I wouldn't. I'm not gonna be an animal with it, but I'm gonna be like to the point where like if I'm in bed and we're 4 years married.
I can't. Like I never did. So growing up, my dad always insisted that you did not fart. You do not fart in front of women.
Yeah, which is like it's a
Like,
good.
he didn't fart in front of my mom. Like he wouldn't fart in front of his mom.
Yeah.
Like he would always say that. And so like even as a kid, like if my brother or I farted in front of my mom, he'd be like, "You do not do that in front of your mom. It's disrespectful." Now I don't know if I agree with that teaching.
It's not a bad teaching.
It's not.
Like, he's not gonna
at
hurt
the
you to
same
not do
time,
that.
no. And he would just say, "Leave the room." That was all. He'd be like, "Be respectful to people in the room. Like, don't just fart in front of other human beings. Like, don't you're sitting on the couch in front of like everybody's watching a movie."
It's funny though.
It is, but like, and I didn't want to be that guy either. Like, you don't want to be that guy who just rips fucking bombs in the middle of a movie with 4 other people. Like, what are you like?
It's fucking hilarious. But no, you don't want.
It's funny to laugh at. It's not funny to be the guy. Like,
well, there's been times, man. Like I wouldn't call myself an avid farter, but there's been times I've made out of like high protein food for a couple days.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I gonna do? Leave every 4 fucking seconds, or do I just stay in the house?
I know, but like,
do I put myself in a shelter for 4 days to make sure this stuff gets out of my system.
But I have friends. You're right. You gotta do it. If you're in front of guys, it's different.
But it's weird. I'm basically a hypocrite. Because if my buddy farts is nasty, I'm like, yo, stop doing this.
Yeah, you're
man.
gross.
This is disgusting.
Like, I don't want to smell that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like.
Well, I hear people that do the what's the one under the covers, Dutch oven. I'm like, I don't know who likes their own fart. Like, I'm not doing it to like for my own personal joy and satisfaction.
Weird, perverse.
No, some people are like, oh, they love to smell their own thing. I'm like, nope.
That's weird. That's weird.
It's disgusting, sir.
Weird. I was at baseball 2 nights ago,
yeah.
And I was playing second base, and the shortstop was just ripping fucking farts the entire game.
Was he addressing it?
Dude, like, it's outdoors, we're like 40 feet away minimum, and like, I just look over, you hear, "Brrr," and then he'd just be fanning his ass with his ball glove.
Like, sir, are you okay?
Like, you don't need to fan your ass. Like, like it's gonna blow into the breeze.
He just pulls his pants down halfway. looking around. Let's get some air on it, Matt. Don't worry about it.
He shit on the bag. Right on second.
Some dirt.
He took a deuce on the deuce. No, it was just weird, man. And then he was like, he'd just look over at me with like a dead straight face. Like at one point, like he just ripped this fart. And he just looks over at me, and I look at him, and he's like, horseradish.
No, he didn't say.
Yeah, that's what I said.
This reminds me of Christmas Vacation.
Like,
you ever see? He's like, looks over, he's shitter's full. Just so calm about it. Like this is typical behavior.
He just looked over. He's a horseradish. Like,
it'll get you, man.
It's like what? It smells like horse. You ate it. It smells like what? What are we talking about here? Well, that fix
smells like horseradish.
Yeah, just one word. Horseradish.
How do you respond to that? What'd you do?
I just stared. I didn't do anything. I was like, I just nodded.
Just nodded.
Like I understood.
Yeah, totally, man, totally.
Fuck yeah.
That's hilarious.
It was funny.
There's a comical aspect to just hearing a fart. Like you tell me if I go into if I give someone a whoopee cushion under their ass and they sit on it, I'm laughing.
Yeah, it's funny, man. It's funny, but like we were talking about significant. So this came up because I'm talking earlier today about
named,
no names be named, but like couples who
Double J will call her. Or him.
No, but like couples. So I have friends who. Guy friends, for example.
Yeah.
That will just rip a fart on their wife's leg.
Yeah.
Like that's fucked up.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Like, if you really think of what is happening there,
yeah, disgusting.
You just go and my one buddy will do it. Like he'll just go and rip a fart on his wife's leg, and his wife there's no way she's into it. It's not like she's digging it.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you just sat on your wife first of all, which is odd.
Yeah.
You just blew gas out of your ass onto her pants.
True love right there.
Like that's I don't know, man.
That girl does me, I'd probably get divorced.
That's inappropriate.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
Get that shit out of here.
Did you? Oh, my jeans.
This is a second pair.
But then you get the same guys that'll complain because their wives don't want to have sex with them anymore. It's like, well, dude, you're ripping fucking farts on her leg. Like,
just because you're married doesn't mean they're going to be attracted to you for the rest of their life. They're going to have an internal attraction.
Or that
love
you can
for
stop totally trying.
Yeah, same thing goes for girls. And I saw a post recently actually, which it's fitness expert that I'm actually a big fan of. She does some really cool workouts. And I think she did some speech on stage, and she's like, women don't have to fall into certain categories. And she starts listing off things. Like, women don't have to this. Women don't have to do this. Women don't have to shave. And I was like, okay. Let's just settle that down, everyone. Okay, women don't have to shave. I get that. If you want to be a disgusting beast of a woman, don't shave. Okay? But come on. What are we doing here, man? I shave certain parts of my body out of respect. And even for, I'm not going to go in there with some craziness for a girl to be like, hey, I'm a guy. Deal with it. It's some girls will be like, okay, yeah, guys are hairy, and guys, there's that aspect. Or I can be, a little bit conscious of that. And the same with the girl, man. There's just certain areas, I don't get if I see a girl with, a little bit of hair here, hair here. It's what's going on there, man?
You dating bearded women?
No, but I've seen chicks with just one little thing here. I'm like, I get girls grow fucking hair. I'm aware of this. But clean it up every day. Do it. Honestly, it's just fucking disgusting to me. Because it's as a guy, I wouldn't go out with a big nose hair hanging out. I'm a guy. I'm just for a simple pride of who I am, I'm not gonna walk out a fucking door with some big old nose hairs and be like, hey, forgot about that one today. It's come on, man. Have some pride in who you are and who you're representing here. So the girl, I expect, if I'm dating a chick or have, for just an attraction level, it's just clean. I don't think I'm asking a lot here. I'm asking for basic cleanliness from a woman's standpoint, And I'm gonna do the same thing, but from a guy standard, I'm gonna be hairier because I'm a guy. It is what it is.
Trim those
and girls are, they accept that with the guy. But for I just don't like that. I'm no, women, we're getting extreme here. Women don't have to shave.
the way I see it,
like, sure, you don't have to, but
no, yeah,
don't expect some fucking guys to like that
shit. You do not have. I mean, you're modern women. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you don't want to shave your legs or your armpits, go ahead.
Yeah,
like, that's your business. That's your prerogative. Will not make me judge you as a person.
Yeah.
If I was single, certainly wouldn't want to date you. You know, like.
But whatever.
And I don't think most single men would not want anything to do with that. And you have to accept that is going to be the reality. That's all I think. That you don't have to shave your legs. Don't shave your legs ever again if you don't want to. Like, I'll still hang out with you. Still think you're a great person.
Yeah, I'm not gonna think you're a bad person.
Yeah, still laugh at your jokes and think you're awesome. But you gotta understand that 95 or more % of heterosexual men are gonna be like, I don't want anything to do. That's disgusting. Yeah. And if you're okay with that, then all the power to you. Yeah, say something about your own personality. That's great. Good for you.
But I think there's even disconnect from, like, I know my mom's age, right? Like, she doesn't leave the house without getting, like, cleaned up.
Yeah.
And, like, feeling good, like, looking good, having, like, some sort of makeup on.
Yeah.
Just not from, like, an egotistical, like, aspect, right?
Yeah.
Where she's like, oh, I need to look good to go in public. Just from, like, a simple pride thing. Like, I have enough pride in myself to walk out of the house presentable.
Are you one of those guys, though, like, if you're running to the grocery store for a few things, and you put jeans and a button-up on? Because I will fucking go in anything.
I will
put, like, plaid pajama pants and flip-flops. I will fucking go to
I try to have a bit more class than that now. A little bit. Like, I might put on I'll put on sweats. I'll do something that's like, it's like that. I haven't given up to the world. Like, it's not hard to put on a t-shirt that looks somewhat decent. I'm not gonna have, like, fucking stains on my shirt. No, I'm not gonna have stains on my pants.
No.
But you see girls walk out, and guys too, that literally walk with stains on their sweater, and girls with, like, no makeup, and then they're just, which again, it's not a big deal, but they're completely undone. They just woke up, their hair's all fucked up. It's like, have a little bit of self-respect for yourself. And that's guys and girls. Like, if you're leaving the house as a guy, and I used to have a buddy I'd walk to school with. I remember this so vividly, man. I'd pick him up from his house, because like, along my route to school, we're grade probably 4 and 5. Every fucking morning, he'd be chowing down a peanut butter sandwich in his house, okay? I'd walk to the front door, knock, wait for him to come out. He comes out, without a shadow of a doubt, peanut butter always fucking all over his face. I said, bro, you are leaving your goddamn house to go to school. Why is there peanut butter all over your face? Every morning.
Peanut butter on your face?
This is conversation every day. Like, what? I don't name a name, but Will, take the peanut butter off your face. Clean yourself up before you run into the house. Like, I don't eat somewhere and don't brush my teeth when I leave the house and have shit in my teeth the whole day.
Right.
It's like,
yeah.
What's going on? Have pride. You know? Like, show a good representation of who you are, and, like, you don't have enough respect for yourself leaving the house like that. Think you're gonna respect anything else?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
that's like a fundamental, like, hey, make your bed in the morning.
Yeah.
Idea.
I think there's a fine line, though. Like, I don't know, because, like, I will be sitting around, like, if it's 8 o'clock at night, right? Yes. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta go get, like, coffee for the morning. I don't know, whatever it is. Like, I will not change to run to the grocery store. Whatever I'm in, and I'm going. Like, I'll run in there. Like, I mean, most of the time I'm in shorts and a t-shirt or something, but I will go. I do not hesitate to
I don't even have stained shirts. Like, you probably don't have, like,
I don't wear
mustard on your shirt walking out. Is that paint?
That's paint.
Is that horseradish?
It's the only one I had to put on.
Yeah.
It's my workout
Even
shirt.
that, it looks like you're working or something.
Yeah,
like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like I'm being a stickler, like, hey, put on a button up. It's like, this is a shirt that you wear.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying,
like,
too.
Yo,
like,
man, like, what are you wearing?
Like, caring about yourself, too. Like, caring about your parents a little bit.
You know? So just this small shit, I'm like, hey, man, like, just...
Yeah.
Because, again, it transfers over to other areas. Like, if you're not willing to make these small little adjustments, like, kind of fix your life around and structure it in a way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Even when you leave your house, like, you're not... Because, again, it's going to sound like I'm stretching here, but I don't think I am, because you're going to get to the area where you go to the grocery store, right? And, like, you look like shit. You're like, I don't care who looks at me. Or, like, no, man, this little thing where nobody looks at you, or they look at you and they look at you like you're a fucking disgusting bum.
Yeah.
And you're not making eye contact because you're not that confident, and you're kind of head down, you don't want to have conversation. It's like, I don't want to run into someone I know right now because I look like garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, all these little things add up very fast. Okay, now I'm not having a conversation. I'm not making eye contact. I'm not smiling with people. I'm not engaging when I'm out there. I'm like, heads down. I'm programming myself to disconnect from the world when I actually get outside of my world. It's like, okay, like, you might not see it, but now it's really spread to 4 different areas of your life right now.
Yeah.
You're passing up.
Yeah.
You run back like a little fucking hermit to your house.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, now I can be like, be me and be chill. It's like, yeah, but like you just took an opportunity where you could have connected and could have smiled and could have engaged with people, but you didn't want to because you're dressed like such a bum. You don't want to fucking admit who you are right now.
Right.
People do that.
Yep.
I know when I leave the house and I like had like I remember I fucked up my nose and I flipped my bike, right? And I'd walk out of the house and like people would just it was bad. I had like a fucking little mask on and shit like that. And like I didn't want to like really engage with people because I'm like, man, people are gonna like look at me weird. They're gonna like ask me questions. They're gonna like, just have like a really weird look on their face. And that's what it was, right? Like I didn't want to go out there. I wasn't like chest up confident. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get the fuck in the grocery store and get the hell out because like I didn't really want to like have my like mashed up face as like in a public setting.
Right. Yeah.
And I didn't feel good about that because like I was leaving these public areas very fast, not like engaged in actually like having some sort of like social stimulation.
Yeah.
Same thing goes when you're looking like a bum. It's like it's a very fine.
So what about on the flip side of this?
Okay.
People who come to the gym in like makeup and jewelry and like decked out to the fucking nines.
Yeah, you're gonna get sweaty. It's gonna.
I feel like there's a fine line.
There
with
is a
gym
fine
attire.
line.
Like,
but again, I don't mind you trying to look good.
No, I don't either.
I don't like. It's,
you know what I do mind though? When people wear smelly clothes.
That's unacceptable.
I don't like it, and it's always guys. It's never girls.
Yeah, I haven't really ran into a lot of smelly girls at the gym.
No, it's always guys. Though, like you know, like you ever like I'll be walking to the gym at least once a week, and you'll be like, it smells like my hockey bag. Like it just, you know, disgusting. Like it's and you're like, how, like what is happening in your world right now?
Yeah, like don't you put it on and smell
But it's
it?
usually I think just t-shirts that get worn multiple times. It's like a gym shirt.
Get a new shirt, sir.
Just wash it. Like it can't be the only t-shirt you own. Like you gotta have another one that you can put on. You know, like in a pinch, just
well, just something.
Grab that old one.
Yeah, if it smells, like why do you want to put it on?
Yeah, I know.
Or are you so immune to it?
Yeah.
He's just a disgusting beast that you don't even smell your own
just
filth.
A smelly beast.
Sounds like it.
No, but it like how often do you do it? It happened. Happened today.
I don't.
Happened this morning.
I'm not going to wear a shirt that smells bad.
No, neither would I. But it happened this morning where I was walking by and it just smelled like it smelled like vinegar. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was just like It
was like a body.
It smelled like apple cider vinegar. Like those body creams.
Body creams will get you.
Those body creams. But no, it wasn't like a body. It was sweat.
Yeah.
It was like stale sweat. Yeah. Like, you know when
that
you
could be a lack of deodorant on the
No, it was a shirt. Like, you could tell it's clothing. Because I know that smell from, like, hockey equipment, right? Yeah. Like, because hockey equipment doesn't get washed. Like, your knee pads and elbow pads and gloves and shit. Like, that's what it smells like when you just repeatedly sweat in them. They, like, you sweat and they dry, sweat and they dry. Yeah. And it just starts to smell like constantly. Fucking, like sour.
True.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to topic here, because we didn't get into this last week. I think it's a healthy conversation, a little bit controversial. We're not afraid to get controversial here, are we?
Especially you.
Not especially me. I guess so. So, hey, you've gone off. But let's talk about mental health.
Yes.
Because what I was looking at the other day, I've ran into a lot of people, and I converse with a lot of people, and I deal with a lot of people, like clients or people coming into gyms or whatever it is. A lot of conversations with people and fitness professionals at that as well. And it seems like everybody has some form of anxiety and depression, and which again, I'm not saying people don't have it.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's just real. It's an epidemic right now. But it's to the point where like suicide rates are incredibly high for teenagers. Uh-huh. As high as it's ever been, and you're seeing a lot of people just claiming and identify themselves as depressed or anxious. And the problem with that now, it's the idea when you start identifying yourself and accepting, because I think that there's a balance between it's good to have a conversation. Like if I'm going through an anxious period in my life and I actually have true like anxiety, it's healthy to have a conversation with that. Where it starts hurting people is when I start identifying myself as I'm Brandon and I am anxious. Because now you're going to be looking for clues to reinforce that identity. You're going to subconsciously start looking for material that says like, yeah, this is where I'm anxious, and this is why I'm anxious, and this, that, and the other aids in my anxiousness. And it's like, well, let's try to look at the root of the problem. Allowing to say, like, right now, I go through shit. I'm sad. I get angry. I get frustrated. I go in social settings where I'm anxious. But it's at that setting I'm a little bit anxious. I'm not an anxious person. I'm not Brandon who has anxiety. It's like, hey, man, this situation makes me a little bit anxious. What can I do about it? And if it's not a situation I want to be a part of, then I avoid it, right? But I'm not anxious. I'm not Brandon fucking the anxious guy. I'm Brandon.
Yeah.
Right? Where people get labeling themselves, and they have conversations with people that are anxious. I'm anxious, you're anxious, I'm depressed. I've gone through depression. It's just who I am. Every couple months I get depressed, and I just sitting there, and you're depressed, and I'm depressed, and it's like, okay, man, but like, what the fuck is this, how is this helping? How is this helping you? Are you actually, why don't you dig back and look at like, hey, what's the structure of my life look like in all areas, right? Because anxiety can come through financial anxiety, personal anxiety, professional anxiety, emotional, mental, whatever it is, physical. Okay, let's rectify those areas. There's 6 powerful areas that we can now step back at and look at our lives in those areas, in those realms, and try to figure out how can I structure myself a little bit more appropriately so I am more fulfilled and engaged and rewarded and satisfied in those areas of my life, so I don't have to be as anxious as I am right now, and I can reduce that anxiety, and I'm not Brandon the anxious person.
I agree. I have a bit of a slightly different perspective. We spoke last week on self-help books, and I mentioned that part of the reason why I'm not a huge fan of most of them is because I read a lot of them at a very difficult point in my life, looking for a way out of depression. So this was after I quit hockey, and then my mom died, and my house turned into literally a fucking Jerry Springer show. My dad moved back in with his girlfriend, who literally him and this woman were the ones who were responsible for essentially breaking up my parents' marriage because he had an affair with her, and it was a fucking shit show. Like my life was a train wreck at the time, and I was depressed. Like I was raised by a single mother for a lot of years. She was gone. Didn't have hockey. You know, had my girlfriend who's now my wife, which she was amazing, but that was it. And I didn't know what to do with myself. So I was suffering from some pretty crippling depression. Now, prior to that, like when I was a teenager, when my mom was alive and like you're carefree and you don't have any real responsibilities or anything like that, I used to mock people who suffered from anxiety and depression. I didn't understand it at all until it started happening to me. And then I thought, holy fuck, is this real? Like I was having flat out panic attacks that actually took me to the hospital a couple times, and I fucking hate the hospital. I don't like going. But it was to the point where like I was having such bad like cardiac arrhythmias that I was like, I need to go to the hospital. Like something is wrong with me. And it was just panic. It was just sheer panic. Now, what I totally agree with you on is at that time in my life, I withdrew, I isolated, I took myself out of my daily routine, and I basically withdrew from everybody in my life that probably could have been a positive influence at that time. And you do that. I did that almost unwittingly, but then it got to the point where I was actively avoiding people, because you almost get to the point, I think with me it was a very different situation than it is with a lot of people. Like I felt guilty over the fact that, you know, my mom was so sick, I wasn't sick. I felt like I didn't do enough to help her after she died. So I felt I was really guilt-ridden. I was grieving. And I think like I found this weird, like masochistic solace in the pain that I was feeling. Like in the grief that I was feeling, the anxiety. I think I felt like I deserved it. Yeah. So I withdrew and I kind of isolated. And then but it got to the point where I thought, you know, like, you know, with some help of my friends and my girlfriend, and I was like, I realized, I'm like, if this cannot be my life. This cannot be my life. Like, I am not willing to live like this anymore. You need to fucking get over the guilt. You need to actively be doing things to overcome this, because sitting on your ass by yourself, isolating, watching fucking Netflix or whatever it is not gonna get you past the clinical depression or the anxiety, right? And if it is like, you know, modern pharmacology has its place. Like if you have to take some type of medication for a short period of time, and you have a good doctor that you trust, who's going to monitor that medication, you know, just to deal with your anxiety, and it helps you function as a normal human being and gets you in the habit of being productive in your day instead of isolating or withdrawing, then it's a wonderful thing. I honestly think that. But I think that, like you said, there's a lot of people nowadays that if they just feel like, if they're anxious about work, or, you know, they're anxious about their weight, or they're anxious, whatever it is, their marriage isn't going well, so they're anxious, their first thought is, I need to medicate myself. Like, there's got to be a pill out here that can help me with this. And that's where I think that you have a very strong point, and I love hearing you talk on it, because it's like, there are so many things that you can do actively to fulfill yourself, to better your own private, personal situation, and not resort to, you know, pharmacological means, for example.
Have you ever heard, which is like all 1000% true, Have you ever heard recently, they did a study where they would give you like 5 words, I forget what the test is called, 5 words, and they all have a word in there that would like represent something or signify something. So say like old age or death, okay. Right? So they had to give you 5 words to put into a sentence. You had to grab 4 of those 5 words, right? But within those 5 words, you're going to get words like Florida and old and retirement within those 5 words, right? Okay. So you subconsciously keep hearing old, death, retirement, right. Florida, disengagement, whatever it is, right? So all these words that kind of signify like death, okay? Or old age. And then what they found is that people would leave the room afterwards, walk slower. They would take their time. They would act almost older by just hearing those subconscious words in their program in their mind. Right. Okay? And it's very fascinating. And it's almost the same thing. I think when you always talk about a certain subject, and you're basically programmed, like you're like, I want to get over anxiety and depression, which again, this is a healthy thing. People go through this shit. This is real. This isn't me saying it's not real. 1,000% real. People go through this stuff. But if you always have that conversation with like, well, I'm anxious and let's talk about anxiety and depression, and we're always on the subject of like, how do I rectify this? And how, like, there's got to be a certain point, man, where you keep hearing the same shit that in a certain way, you keep reprogramming yourself to be like of the symptoms of it. That's my stance on it. I feel like if you talk about it too much and you're both sharing stories of how you're anxious and what gets you depressed, it's like, well, now you're hearing what gets her depressed and how you're getting depressed. You're saying that like living in that kind of bubble precipitates. Yeah, even though you're trying to do something positive, because all these people that are going through it, most of them are trying to rectify the issue. They're not sitting there and being like, oh, woe is me. They're actually trying to rectify the issue. Yeah. But when you keep having that same conversation over and over, you're like, why is your depression so high? And where do you get anxious? It's like, well, now you're just hearing their story and you're sharing your story. And it becomes this like little thing where you're both like still talking about the issue so much that we're naturally like seeing these things way more often. Right. Why not just like, figure out, okay, this is why I have it, and we get down to the nitty gritty of it, and then we start having positive conversation. We kind of get off the topic a little bit, and we kind of just like focus on living a more fulfilling life from there. I know it's not that easy. But I feel like just sitting there and having these conversations about why I'm depressed and why I'm anxious, it's like, well, there's got to be a certain point where you go, like, fuck this shit, man. Like, I'm done talking about it. And I got to really work on this, man. And I got to really structure my life in all these areas. And you start making lists and charts, and you do what you got to do to get this shit figured out, right? But keep talking about it and talking about all the issues that's going on. I will say this as a concise statement. Every time that I have felt unfulfilled or I have been really struggling with a problem in my life, what has helped more than anything else is reconnecting with things that I had become disconnected from as a result of the problem. Okay. So what I mean by that is the death of my mother. When I was grieving, I stopped, I had quit hockey, so I stopped playing men's league hockey. I stopped working out often because I was just depressed. I stopped hanging out with my good friends and, like going to concerts or whatever, right? These all seem like minor things by themselves. But what helped me more than anything else was reconnecting with those things that I'd become disconnected from as a result of the problem. So as a result of my depression, disconnected from my friends, disconnected from my sport, disconnected from my, my hobbies and my passions in life. So one at a time, reestablishing a healthy connection with those things, like, joining a men's league, hockey league, and having something every Thursday to look forward to. Because then it's a positive thing, right? And it starts off as just a fucking hockey game. But then by the second week, the third week, you're like, fuck, it's Thursday. Yeah. I got something fun that I'm going to do tonight. It's wicked. Let's go. And the same thing. Like, I started playing music with other people again because I love playing music, right? And talking to friends and going out and seeing people who I hadn't seen in quite some time because it was my fault. Like, I withdrew from them, right? But that helped more than anything. And I know we're both fitness professionals, but I think people drastically underappreciate the impact that a healthy, active life has on your mental health. Yeah. I think that is the best thing that you can possibly do for your mental health is push your physical limits. Because, like, hormonally speaking, aesthetically speaking, like, we know scientifically how beneficial it is for us cognitively, mentally, psychologically, even spiritually, if you're a spiritual person, how beneficial physical activity is, right? And that's a message that I think everybody needs to understand. Yeah. Don't dwell on the issue too much. You
Right.
know? I know it's a very complicated issue. Again, it's going to be very debated because if people are like, well, you don't understand this. And I get that. I haven't been in that situation.
But you can always feel like that. You always feel like somebody doesn't understand,
man.
right?
And everyone's going to say that. Like, you haven't lived it.
Yeah, you don't know what I'm going through. But I don't know.
No, but I've been
through my shit.
Places where I'm anxious, but I don't dwell on it. I don't just keep bringing it up, man. It's like, it's not going to do me any good to keep reliving the issue and problem over.
Right.
Like, it's going to get fucking overwhelming and exhausting to the point where